What's up guys, Matt here. Thanks for dropping by. So, have any of you ever heard of an anamorphic lens? Well, a little while ago, maybe a year ago, I'd never heard of one either, let alone someone using one for stills photography. Now, an anamorphic lens, I'm not going to get into the details, but they're a cinema lens. They're used for cinema movies, and you've seen them in J.J. Abrams movies, Michael Bay movies, where you see the beautiful big horizontal flares as a light hits the element, and they streak across the screen. And they also give these really unique oval bokeh rather than round creamy ones. So traditionally they're really expensive lenses, like $50,000 lenses, and they're massive. But I have my hands on the SIRUI 50mm f1.8 lens. Now this is an anamorphic lens that is just what seems to be revolutionizing the industry, because now run and gun and budget filmmakers or even professional filmmakers can afford to have a little lens. Now this is only $1,200 Australian, so that is peanuts. That's cheaper than most pro lenses, but the build quality is excellent. And if you have a look here, a little bit dusty, have a look here, you can see that the element's very different. So it doesn't look like your conventional lens. So it's fully manual, as you'll see in the video. So I have to control the aperture and I have to control the focus. And it's got hard stops for the focus. So I thought that I'd take this out with some models in the forest and get some stills and see if I could use this as a stills lens and get some of those flares as well. Now the aspect of them are really, really unique. They give a wider field of view than is possible on a normal lens, while still maintaining that focal range. You'll see that this lens is a little bit different though on a micro four thirds. And yeah, so this video is going to show you some behind the scenes of me shooting and having a bit of fun along the way. And then at the end, I also did a little bit of a film to complement the stills. So it was something a bit different, a bit creative, and I am pretty keen for you to let me know what you think. So let's get to it. So I'm here with Chelsea Abbott. I'll link you in the description below. And I've set up one of these lights here to add some texture and stuff from behind. So we're going to backlight her. And with this lens, it actually makes the flares. So if I was shining this right into the camera, you would get a flare right across it. So what I want to do is have Chelsea or a model in front of the light, move around, and then get the light to appear from behind her, and it will actually give some flares. Well, that's the idea anyway, so yeah, let's have a go. With this lens is, well, it's a 1.8 f1.8. You actually, because it's a crop sensor micro four thirds, you need to double it. So effectively it's giving us a f-stop of f3.6. But the issue is with this, for some reason, even when I'm using focus peaking or zone focusing on it, it's still not tack sharp, wide open. And I'm not sure if it's me doing something wrong or but I have tested it when we were on at Sydney Harbour, and it did work much better, but it's struggling a little bit now. Perhaps it's the light, and perhaps it's just my skill and practice with it, but we'll keep going. So I am at f1.8 and using focus peaking, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so one of the other things I talked about just before was like the zone focusing and focus peaking. But what we'll do now is we'll get a shot of Chelsea. This is a video actually. What we'll do, we'll get her we'll set a mark point where she will stand. So I'll stand back here, I will focus on her, make sure she's perfectly in focus, and then I'm just going to leave it and just do something a little bit creative. I'll get her to walk up, and she's actually going to end up out of focus, and then when she walks back in, she'll end up in focus. So then we know exactly where she'll be in focus because we've marked a point on the ground. Alright, so let's shoot that, get her in focus, and start filming, and action. And come back. Because this is an anamorphic lens, you actually have to de-squeeze the image in post-production. So what that is if your camera doesn't have a de-squeeze function, the image will actually look really squeezed in. But it seems to be alright. I've got the grid lines on, you can still compose everything, and then in post-production I'll put it into Photoshop and I'll actually de-squeeze it, and it should make that really nice wide cinematic looking shot. Some cameras like I think the GH5, the Blackmagic, and other video centered cameras actually have a de-squeeze function where it'll show you the full width of the image. So I mean, it's no big issue. Some people might find it tricky, but it still looks like it can still compose everything. I can still see everything that's going to be in the image in the sides. It's just a little bit tighter. So yeah, let's go ahead and have some more shots. So I out here shooting, and who should turn up? Hey. Mike? What do you do, Mike?
What do? I shoot portraits and sometimes some landscapes, but nothing like my man here. But yeah.
He's an amazing portrait photographer. He's come along today to get some shots and help us out here and experience the wilderness that is Hornsby. And just over here, you can see Chelsea, our model, is now doing some of the shots herself. Very talented. So at 9:20 now, the sun's actually peeking over the top of the boulders here, so this is where we can use the backlight and actually get some of the flares during the day. So we shot some of the ones with the red light down here when it was dark, but now if you come in close and you'll be able to see, we're actually going to start to get flares coming across the screen here. And we can get some shots. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks so much for following along until the end. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed going out and shooting and putting all of that together. It was really cool, the kinds of things you can do with a lens like this, isn't it? Like, people wouldn't really consider a video or a cinema lens like this to be useful for stills, but I think it's quite cool. So I'm pretty keen to get out and use it in some other scenarios. Stay tuned because the 35mm of this is coming out soon, and I may or may not have some video content for that one as well, which should be pretty exciting because I'm keen to have something wider. If you've got any comments on how I de-squeeze the images for stills in post or in video, just drop a comment below and I might be able to help you out there. It's actually quite easy. All of the images were edited with my presets, so if you don't want to go through and edit them yourself, some people don't, you can grab them in the description below. But other than that, I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the other side.